It was a shocking announcement by the Florida governor about his 41-year-old wife being diagnosed with breast cancer. Immediately, Floridians around the state took to social media, clamoring for more information about the well-liked First Lady. Was the cancer caught early? Would she be okay? Well wishes poured in, promises of prayers. But when a relaxed chat on horseback with the Epoch Times was suggested, Casey DeSantis finally said yes to sharing more. An avid and award-winning horsewoman since childhood, she spoke openly in that tranquil setting about how a gut feeling drove her to pursue testing for cancer against her doctor's recommendations, and how her quest to reclaim her health now gives her a unique way to do good.
From my husband, who is a fighter, who's got my back 110%. He's been fighting for the country. Well, it's my turn to fight.
She's fighting, and she will be back better than ever.
The Sunshine State's First Lady hasn't spoken about the matter until now. The nation's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, when she sat down for an interview at W.C. Dover Farm in Tallahassee.
When you get some bad news, you have a choice in what you want to do in life. You can either put your head in the sand, you can put your tail between your legs, or you can go out and live life to the fullest. Not to say that I didn't stick my head in the sand for a while.
But then she said she realized that the fight she's facing had come with a blessing, one that gave her a way to encourage others to take on challenges with a fighting spirit. This new mission started with a visit to Wolfson Children's Hospital, where she spoke to children receiving cancer treatment.
Hey, listen, I am the First Lady. I have cancer. I can get out and do things and live life to the fullest and try to be a little bit of an inspiration. I think that meant more to me than anything else. I've got good days and I've got bad days, but I'll tell you what, you guys, you take it a day at a time and try to do your best to take the good with the good and the bad with the bad, and when you go to bed, wake up and it's a whole new day and fight like hell. And then I also wanted to come and talk to you about kind of my story, because if it helps to save lives, I think it's important.
Well, I would love to hear it. What do you want to share about that?
Yeah, so that's kind of how I found out. I went into the doctor because I felt something. I don't want to talk about what it is. Didn't physically feel anything, but something sitting inside me just didn't feel right. So I went in to talk to my primary care OBGYN, and she felt around and she said, you know what, I don't feel anything. There's nothing here. I think you're good to go. Basically, I'll see you in a year. I went home. I felt better for a second, right? And as I'm leaving, something is still tugging at me, right? There's just not something right. So I get in the car, I go home, a couple of days, I call him back, and I say, you know what, can you get me a mammogram? There's just something that doesn't feel right. A month later, I finally do get the mammogram, and I go in, and the rest is history. They find something, right? And it's not that they find something and then that's it. They find something and then you have to wait to find out what that something is, and then to how far of an extent it is. And so it was, when I was talking about sticking my head in the sand, that's what it was referring to, because there was a lot of time where there was a lot of uncertainty. There still is some uncertainty, right? But at least we have a plan, we're getting treatment, and just like the better half, I fight like hell. And so I have a very optimistic look towards the future.
DeSantis turned the conversation away from herself to what she sees as her husband's biggest accomplishments: the state's job growth, the governor's stand against pandemic lockdowns, and his drive to reopen schools in 2020. She pointed to the governor's decision to seal nursing homes early on to protect the vulnerable, and how he created a task force to figure out the best way to get residents' loved ones back into facilities for visits.
I could not be more proud of everything that he has done as governor. I mean, I've always known that he's exquisite, he's a leader, he's courageous, and he's strong. But when you see what he's done, especially last year, people from all over the country were coming to Florida to go out to dinner, to be normal. You know, that's one of the things I don't think that people have taken into account, is people's emotional well-being, what it means to be with your loved ones. One of the most meaningful things, though, is when they opened up the nursing homes. And he went in there and we met with the families who said, I want to be with my loved one If they're not going to be able to have much time left on this planet, I want to spend time with them. And so he did everything and moved hell and high water to make sure that those families could be together, because at the end of the day, we don't want to lose sight of that. Right. Our connection with our fellow man, and even being here and talking with you now, this is very special.
The governor's defiance of the mainstream narrative on how to handle the CCP virus response has made him a target for establishment media and Democrat politicians, including President Joe Biden.
Disappointed that particularly some Republican governors.
We are respecting people's individual freedom in this state.
The mainstream media and the press are against him. He hasn't taken one poll since he has been in office, because he does what he knows in his heart is right, and he also does what he believes is the best for the people of the state of Florida. And because of that, he takes a lot of heat. You know, parents want the right to be able to choose what they want for their kids and their education. He says, yes, parents, you should have that right. And he gets torpedoed sometimes because of it. But why does he do it? Why does he hold the line? Why does he stand strong? Because he believes in the people of this state. He believes that people should be empowered to make the decisions that they think that are best for themselves and their families. And he will hold the line for families. And I could not be more proud. And so when people talk about being a fighter, I always look to him because he's always been my hero. So now I have to be a fighter because he is.
And he believes you will be.
Yes, I have to.
So you
yes,
have to live up to that.
Yes,
now.
I will do it. I will do it.
During the public announcement about her diagnosis, the governor said, "Casey is a true fighter, and she will never, never, never give up."
My husband, who is a fighter, who's got my back 110%, he's been fighting for the country. Well, it's my turn to fight, and I don't want to let him down.
Looking down, she reaches for a collection of beaded bracelets around her wrist and jangles them.
Across the state and the nation, the outpouring of support has been just wonderful. These bracelets are just some of the bracelets that people have sent in with well wishes and prayers. And to know that people are praying for you, gosh, it means the world.
Right. As I travel around, and of course, I talk about your family because I write about your family. And
hopefully all good.
And when I speak to people, they ask me, how is she?
I'm good.
We're praying for her. I put her on our prayer list at church. You know, our whole church is praying. We want to know how she is. So I'm really glad you're talking with us today, and I'm glad to hear you're good.
Yeah, I want to encourage other people to get up. It's like that movie Shawshank Redemption. Remember when they said either get busy living or get busy dying? You have a choice. When you get bad news, you can either stick your head in the sand or you can go out and try to live life to the fullest. And so that is the direction that I've tried to do, to try to live up to a lot of the prayers.
When you're touching a child's life, even if it's for a moment, there is such a lasting impact, and it resonates with them. And because you took an interest in their life, you have forever changed their trajectory. So thank you for what you do.
Resiliency is a concept DeSantis was promoting even before her diagnosis. In February, she launched one of her 3 main projects, the Resiliency Florida Initiative, a partnership with professional sports organizations and big-name athletes, such as Tom Brady, David Beckham, Peyton Manning, and others. The program aims to show children with mental health issues that they are not alone. By having athletes share their own stories of resilience, the hope is to encourage children to persevere through adversity.
Forget about the football field. What about when things happen in life that are very difficult? When things are tough at home or a loved one's sick? So life's always going to present us with incredible challenges. That's the reality of life. But these moments are true opportunities and tests for us to grow. And they're going to test our character, and ultimately they're going to provide us with the best opportunities to learn.
I noticed very quickly traveling the state and talking with a lot of kids that they felt that if they had a mental health condition or if they had a mental health issue, that they somehow were damaged goods. And that they were victims. And I wanted to change it, giving hope to kids that if you persevere through tough times, that it's going to be all right. No one, again, is immune from difficulties. We're all going to face some difficulties, no matter what they are. But the most important thing is to persevere and to be strong, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
As part of that program, the First Lady helped develop character education standards to be taught in Florida's K-12 schools. Passed unanimously by the State Board of Education in July, they're the state's first standards focused on teaching students about how character contributes to the overall civic health of a society.